Hi, and welcome to February's installment of Meals on the Move. We're here at the American Heart Association. I'm Brooke Williams, the Director of Communication, and I am joined by Michelle there from our staff, a chef, and also our food service manager, and also Anessa Chumbley, who's a registered dietitian and representing the American Heart Association. February is American Heart Month, and so we're bringing to you a Mediterranean mug. It's a heart healthy recipe. We're going to put a little dairy twist to it. But anytime throughout today's broadcast, you can comment or ask a question about the recipe, the American Heart Association, the Dairy Association. And any comment or question is registered then to win this month's mug from the American Heart Association, a recipe book, and one of our Dairy Association mugs. So
wow,
any question
nice.
goes, any comment goes, and we'll be reading them throughout. But I'm going to let you guys take it away.
Sweet, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We're here in Indy.
Yep.
We are not at the Greek Isles. Dang it. Work on that budget. But we kind of wanted to bring a mashup from one of the recipes on the Heart Association website.
But you put it in a mug. I love that idea.
Well, the idea about a mug is just think about it. You hold it and it's pretty homey.
Yeah.
It's pretty comforting.
Especially this time of year.
But last week when it was so cold, I think our whole office was walking around with a mug.
Yeah.
And so not only is it warm and comforting, it's portion control. This is 13 ounces. Our recipe is 1 serving.
Okay.
And it's kind of slow food made easy for anybody, whether you're a student or a latchkey kid or an older adult or even that mom on the run.
Yep.
This is perfect.
That.
So tell us, our mug is always filled with farmers and dairy and all the goodies that come from dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, and also our partners. And that's why we're here today. Well,
that's neat. You guys are doing one of these a month, and I love that idea. So it's American Heart Month. And every February, it's like my mind is renewed to how important heart health is, because I just found this out again, it's the leading cause of death in the United States and Indiana. And, this month we also choose to focus on women, especially because 1 in 3 women are affected by it. So the cool thing is, though, 80% of those related events to the heart are preventable. Just by simple little changes. And I know you know this, Michelle, but it's always, it's those little things that's always worth remembering in our mind. What are some of the small things we can do to make a big impact? A lot like the ingredients, including some of the ingredients that you're using today.
I think pasta is huge. I love pasta. And when you go and you get a plate of pasta, it's this mammoth serving of 10 for one person.
Right.
So to break it down, couscous, this simple little grain will swell up. And it's the perfect.
So how long did you put it? So you just combined it with a little bit of water. You put it in the microwave for how long?
About a minute.
A minute.
And we're going to stir it. If you've ever put your coffee in too long and it boils over.
I do that.
I've done that here with the couscous. So I do it at 1 minute, kind of stir it.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put it in for about another 20 seconds.
Okay.
And it's kind of nice to be able to see this because it's getting warm. And at this point, you notice the vast instructions and utensils that we're using, plastic everything.
We're keeping it simple, right?
We use about a half a teaspoon or 2 drizzles off of a fork of olive oil.
Olive oil that's filled with all those monounsaturated, I call them MOOFs. They're like yoga for the arteries. It's just, it's what your heart needs and wants, and what a good ingredient to use. Okay.
And you don't have to use a lot of oil.
Okay.
It just is a nice flavoring, but it's also going to coat that pasta, because that's what couscous is. It sounds fancy. It's just pasta.
Okay.
And it's going to coat all of those little nuggets and just swell up and really make this meal hearty.
All right.
Then we're going to start adding our goodies. So we've got.
So this is like my favorite ingredient. This was on my New Year's resolution to include 2 cups of it at every lunch, because it's so, it's already, you think about it, it's already washed. Fresh spinach is washed, ready to go. It's packed with antioxidants, things that are good for your eyes and your heart and every part of your skin. So it's like, to me, it's like the food of no excuses. It's just ready for you.
And the bag that you get, because it weighs so little, is always huge.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you use it all the way through so you don't feel like you're wasting.
Right.
But it's so packed with nutrition. The one thing I do want to show you, this is still kind of watery, so you're going to think, oh, Michelle's already messed up. Okay. No,
Michelle's messing me up, but you're not.
This is still going to cook.
Okay.
So we want to add all of this spinach. And just like with every recipe, you're going to lose some, but then smush it down. And that is a true technical term. You know that.
I do.
From cooking. You just kind of.
A good culinary term.
Yes.
Mush and mush.
And so.
Well, then look how it's wilting just as you're doing that.
It's going to wilt down. And that's how you know that we are right about
this is how you know you can trust Michelle. Like however she says to make it, just do it. But I let you know, you mentioned the busy mom, and I would put myself in that category with two little ones.
Yes.
Meals on the move. When I looked at this recipe, I thought it's like Mediterranean in a mug. And I had never thought to do this, honestly, but I love how you're packing it with plants. And then one of my favorite dairy foods, which is feta. I could put feta on everything from pizza to a burger to, I mean, just all my salads. So that looks good.
So we've got some roasted red peppers. My house is divided.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us like roasted red peppers. Some of us like the cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
So either one that you have or a combination.
So that's a good question for our audience. Which one would they pick? Roasted red pepper or cherry tomato? I think I'd go right now roasted red pepper with time of year.
Yeah, I don't know. The tomatoes are awfully sweet too.
Yeah.
So I've been eating them as I've been putting them out, so probably not a good thing. You probably had a bigger display earlier. So the recipe calls for an ounce of feta. And the way that I found that I like it better, because back to your point about pizza, we all like that ooey gooey cheesy part.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to fork it up here, and you can see how everything's swelling up in the mug.
Yes.
And then we're going to put it in there for about another minute. That seems to be the magic number. Now, the only reason I'm telling you this is that I am not a microwave user.
Yeah, me neither, honestly, not usually. But
I am trying really hard to get there because it's so versatile. Think about when your kids come home from soccer practice and they're hungry, or if you just don't know what to cook and you've got a lot of little things in the refrigerator, this is perfect. Because in 3 minutes, you've got a healthy, hot meal, because right now that's what people want. And sometimes you get tired of chili or things that get baked in the oven. I always get mad when I have to turn on my oven and I bake one potato.
Yeah. Right, for a single meal. But this seems like it's so versatile. I'm seeing like a Mexican version with black beans and avocado and cojita cheese. But yeah, that feta is some of my favorite because it's crumbly and salty. And for those hard cheeses, a little bit goes a long way. And you could do low fat, which would be good for your heart. Is there a question? Yeah, what?
Someone is asking, she says her husband doesn't like couscous, so can they use rice?
You can use rice. You could use rice if you didn't like couscous. My really favorite is quinoa.
Yeah.
You've got rice is a starch, and so you have to count it as a starch, even though you need it for the DASH diet. It takes longer to cook and it doesn't work as well. Couscous and quinoa cook about the same amount of time. Okay. And you've got a little bit more protein going there. So
yeah, so if she's watching, I'd be interested to know, has your husband tried quinoa, or have you tried it? I love it because it's higher in protein. To me, it's a little more filling. And I often use that as a swap, but I think either would be good.
We're going to add our spices now. We have the pasta ready to go. And so we added a little basil. We're adding a little bit of Greek oregano. Use what you have. A little bit of garlic. A little bit of pepper. I personally would rather add more feta than add salt now, because it is that salty flavor.
Right.
So add the little bit of extra feta that we can have.
Well, and that's a great way to do something good for your heart. Like one of the best first things that we can do is decrease our sodium intake. Of course, we need sodium, but usually we need a lot less than what we get in. So one of the best ways, what we've been doing lately, is using a lot of citrus zest and pepper. Like in the winter, we tend to use orange zest and paprika, and I'll put that on roasted sweet potatoes. And then in the summer, we use lime zest and cumin. And I love those kind of like salt swabs. But that looks amazing.
Isn't that great?
Good job.
Now,
you did that just in a few minutes.
Some people may not like the feta. It may be too salty or whatever. There's a wonderful mozzarella. You could use provolone. You could use Parmesan. All of those fall into the heart healthy category, and they work just as well. You don't have to follow the recipe exactly. It's kind of a roadmap. I think that
right, like a blueprint.
yeah,
that people
we
could
kind of
use
got
whatever.
you started. We gave you some options, but this is kind of where you are now. And tell us a little bit, Anessa, about our relationship. What do we get to do, or what do we get to look forward to for Heart Month?
Yeah, well, this is like the best month for heart health. And I love that it kind of kicks off our year. Because if we're not affected by heart disease personally, usually we all know someone in our life that we love that we can help in this way. So I'm happy to say that the Indianapolis American Heart Association has a ton of events going on this month, specifically for women, because we think about Go Red for Women. So you can, one of the best things to do, since you're on Facebook right now, is to hop on their Facebook page, Indianapolis American Heart Association, and you'll find all the links. So I'm sure anybody that's watching, one of the number one things you want to do is follow Indiana Dairy while you're watching, because you guys go live a lot, which is great. And follow American Heart Association as well. So I'm happy to say, I think it's this Friday, the 8th. Let me make sure on yes, the 8th is Friday. Couldn't remember if it was the 8th or the 9th, but there is the Go Red Dress Dash, Red Dress Dash. So what we're doing is we're inviting all women down to Monument Circle. Wear a red dress if you have one, a red t-shirt, whatever. Even if you don't want to wear red, come anyway. And then they've got events going on from 8 to 9, so you could stop by right before you go to work. At 8:30, they're just going to do a dash around Monument, just one. Well, you're not going to get too sweaty before work, but it's also
you can wear your heels.
You can wear your heels. You can totally deck out. Wear a red boa, whatever you want. I know there's a place that they're going to have pictures, something fun to do with your friends. Then you can grab a cup of coffee and get to work. But a lot of great information. Bring your loved ones that are affected by heart disease down to that, because right afterwards, they're also going to have a casting call. So I saw that and I was like, are we acting? What's going on? So what they want is anybody that has a story to share. And a lot of us that have been affected by heart disease or have it, there's nothing more encouraging than finding out another woman's story if it's something that you're going through. And for a lot of us, like, a trouble shared is a troubled have. So what they want is for you just to share your story, and then they're going to record it and use it in different ways. So that's event number 1 going on this Friday. Also remember that there is free health screenings every Thursday at CVS. If you're wondering, am I one of those 1 in 3? Make sure to get to CVS and find out about that. And then finally, there's the Go Red for Women experience and luncheon. This year, Michelle, I went last year, it was at the JW Marriott. It was a really cool event. This year, it's at the Palladium. So it's a brand, venue. I know, like, how can you complain about that? So it's the February 27th, which is a Wednesday. So you can get on our website and find out all about that.
Oh, how exciting. There's lots to do in Indiana.
In our city, and that's
right. You have a question.
Yeah. Oh, great question, because I forgot to mention that. Absolutely not. My guy over there is cueing me. No, there's no fee. Come on down and have fun. I'm sure it just looks like it's going to be a blast.
A free fun event.
Yeah, that's right.
Early morning. That's perfect to get you up and going.
Yeah.
See,
take a lot of selfies and a lot of Instagram pictures.
Lots of fun. Yeah. Lots of good things that are happening. That's why we partner. There is a reason of nutrition. There's a reason of fun.
Yes. Now tell me about recipes on your guys' page, because we can go to your website to get
winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Okay.
And you'll get this recipe. You'll get lots of other recipes. Most important, if you want to know more about the DASH diet that is supported by the American Heart Association and the American Dairy Association, it's there. You can download that, get more information, and we have people that can help you. We have people that can answer questions for you. Just email us. So this is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for watching. This was fun.
We had, real quick, someone commented that olives would be great.
Oh, Kalamatas. Oh,
yeah. Good idea.
And then we wouldn't add the oil. We would just add the Kalamatas. And again, these are all great suggestions because it's just a roadmap. If you like olives, that's perfect. The other thing you could add is rotisserie chicken. You could add chicken in a bag. It depends on what you have in your house. If you wanted to add any kind of a protein, you could add nuts. Walnuts would be amazing with
Oh,
this.
sure. That's
So,
right. It's like you do you, whatever
yes,
works for
whatever
you.
you like and whatever you enjoy. We just wanted to say thank you to the American Heart Association.
Oh,
So
we appreciate that. Likewise,
we
to
heart
Indiana
you.
Dairy, you guys do a great job, and I love these Facebook Lives. How fun to win a mug too, and we're honored that we get to be a part of that. So yeah.
So thanks for joining us, and throughout the series you can find today's recipe, last month's recipe, and the next 10 months of recipes on Meals on the Move. MOOve is spelled with 2 O's for moo.com. So mealsonthemove.com. And once again, thank you to the American Heart Association for hosting today's broadcast, and continue to comment 24 hours after this to be entered to win our prize pack. So yeah, enjoy the Mediterranean mug, and we'll see you next month.